Hello, Automata makers. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take a silhouette of a rhino and we're going to make it move. Hopefully you can use this information to make your characters for your automatas. So first thing I'm going to do is get my picture of my rhino. So where I chose to get the picture today, I just used ChatGPT and made a little rhino, asked it to make a silhouette of a rhino. And so I'm going to go ahead and just download that. And I'm going to go ahead and take this picture and I will drag it onto Inkscape. So go ahead and do that now. Folder, there we go, and there it is. Okay. Alright, so here's our picture of a rhino. Now I'm going to make a movable head and some movable legs. So, maybe a tail. Who knows? Alright, first thing I'm going to do, I need to take this picture and do a little bit of editing. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to trace bitmap. That's going to turn it into an SVG. So right now it's a JPEG, and I'm going to turn it to an SVG. So you right mouse click, go to trace bitmap, and then I'm going to go down to the picture here to apply, and there we go. Now I have an image I can edit. So there's a couple things I can do here. I don't want this stuff here, so I'm going to use the eraser tool. And we're just going to put a little mark here to erase this, mark here to erase this, and here, and let's go ahead and do it right there. Okay, next, what we're going to do is we're going to use this little node tool here, and we're going to use this to delete the stuff we don't want. So I'm just highlighting and hitting the delete button on my keyboard. And we're just going to keep deleting this stuff. Delete, delete, delete. And delete. Okay, now we're going to look at our rhino, see how we're doing here. Okay, I do see some interesting things that might have to deal with. We have two legs that are blended into one, and then looks like we have one leg here, so I guess he's standing with his legs right next to each other. But that's okay, we'll just use the same leg here for that. So we're going to make a copy. I always make copies of whatever I'm working on. Control-C, Control-V. That way we can come back to it if we make a mistake or we need to trim parts off this rhino. So I want this rhino head to move. We're going to do that first. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to cut his head. So I'm going to take a square and I'm going to make the square right about there. Make sure we fill it. Right mouse click a color, set fill with left mouse click. I'm going to get rid of the stroke. Let's see if we can do that. I'm going to right mouse click where it says stroke, hit remove stroke. Okay, the stroke in the laser cutter, of course, means I'm going to cut that out, but that's not important right now. So I'm going to click on my arrow key. I'm going to hold down the shift button and click on the rhino. Then I'm going to go up to path and I'm going to go to difference. Or you could just hit control minus, which is what I normally do. And there's the head. All right. Now, the next thing I'm going to do with this head, I'm going to extend this part out so that I have a place to make a pivot hole. And I'm going to do that with the node tool. I'm going to click on the node tool here. I'm going to zoom in. We're going to grab this side here. We're going to stretch it out. Just like that. All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and make a hole in the head. I've never heard anybody say that before. Okay, so I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to come here. I want the hole to be, well, the rod we're going to use to hold this is a 6x6, and I want this thing to be kind of loose, so I'm going to go ahead and do 7.5 by 7.5 millimeters. Oh, I see what I did. I actually typed it into the Y. That's the position it is on this paper. Don't even worry about that. I need to come over here to height. I messed up. That's okay. We can fix it. All right. Now, I'm going to bring this up. If this is behind it, if it shows up, it looks like this, all you have to do is click on it and hit page up. Now, I'm going to put the pivot point right there. I'm going to make a copy of this because I'll probably end up using that circle again for other stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, hold down the shift key. I always look at shift key as and. So I'm going to click on the rhinoceros, and then I'm going to go ahead and I can hit Control plus, or I can go to path and I'm going to go to it. It says union. You can see these two shapes. It means join shapes. Oh, actually, I don't want to do union. That was my bad. We want to do difference. We want to cut shape. Sorry. So that's Control Boom, and made a hole there. Okay, now let's change the color of this so we can actually see it. We're going to set fill, make it green. That works, and then we can kind of see what's going to look like on a rhino. In fact, let's see it move. So I'm going to click on it one more time, and there's this little crosshair here. If we move that crosshair over to that circle, now we can actually see the head move. So when we print this out on the laser cutter, we'll print out the head separate, and then we're going to print out the body, and I will cut that head off there so that we won't have that in the background when this thing's moving. But right now, that's what's going to look like where this is going to be moving up and down. We'll put a little rod right here so that it'll move up and down the box. Yep, he's agreeing with me. And now, let's make a hole here, though, for copy, paste, Control-C, Control-V. We're going to take this, and we're going to make a hole that goes into his body. For this, I'm going to actually hit this button here. This is a magnet tool or a snapping tool, whatever have you. And we're going to put that right into the hole. Bam. Okay. Now we're going to take that off, and I'm going to move this out. And we're going to go ahead and hold down the Shift key, click on the rhino, and you guessed it, Control minus or path difference. And now we have our hole. So now it's ready to go with that. All right, next thing we're going to do, let's go ahead and let's cut the head off here. So I think I'm going to cut it right down here. I'm going to leave the green head on there for just now so I can see what whereabouts I want to cut this thing. Move over just a little bit. The arrow here, and then move that over a little bit. And then I'm going to click this, hold down Shift, click on the body. I didn't click on this, so I'm not going to be cutting that. And I'm going to go Control minus, or you can go again to path and do difference. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and check it out and see how it works. Let's click on it here again, and let's see it moving up and down without our head. Ooh, I do see a little bit of sharp corner. Let's get that sharp corner to move to get out of here. So we're going to go over here, and I'm going to use the node tool. Click on the rhinoceros, and then I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to just delete the stuff I don't want. I'm going to grab this little circle thingy here, and we're going to stretch it back, and click on here. And, yep, rounding. I'm going to round it. That was way better than I think. No, I'm not. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and now put that back, and let's see what it looks like. I think I can actually round that out a little bit more. I don't like that. So I'm going to just delete this node. Usually if you delete the sharp nodes, it just kind of rounds itself out. And I think that'll work. Yeah. Okay. And you can do as much as you want on there. I might go in and round this out to there. That, I think, looks better. Okay, now let's check it out. Click on it, we're going to move it. Oh yeah, that's better. Now there's a little sharp point there, and I probably would round that out as well. But for the sake of this, we are going to move on to the next step. All right, next, let's get some legs moving. So, we're going to do the similar thing. Let's take this body, Control-C, Control-V, and now let's cut out some legs. Now, I don't want the legs to interfere with the head. So I'm going to put, let's go ahead and let's cut it while it's on here. We'll keep this one up here uncut, and then we're going to go ahead and cut out stuff we don't need. We'll start here, and I'm going to go ahead and Control Shift and click on the body, Control minus, and then I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit more. In fact, there is another way to do this. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and take this. I'm going to right mouse click this, set stroke. And I'm going to hit that little red fill button there, get rid of all the fill inside, and then I'm going to do some surgery here. We're going to take this little tool here, and I'm going to click here, and I'm going to make a leg, just like that. I just clicked until it turns into a solid shape there. So you might have heard me go click, 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 and that made it solid. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the paint bucket. Paint bucket's right here. I'm going to pick a color, set fill to red. interesting there. Let's do that. Let's get Control Z. Let's go ahead and do that. Oh, okay, I see the problem. See, this is not connected, so I'm actually glad this happened because it might affect your drawing there. So what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and use that bezel tool here again, and I'm going to keep clicking until it's solid. There we go. Now let's go back. There was a hole. You don't want a hole because the paint will just spill through the hole and fill up the other parts, so we don't want that. So let's grab this paint bucket and let's fill it. Boom! There it is. And guess what? We have our leg just simply like that. We'll pull that leg out. I would definitely round the corners with a node tool, obviously, just like I did with the rhinoceros's body. We'll just kind of stretch that out, get rid of that one, round it out. There it goes. Okay, now I have the rhino body. And of course, I think I would definitely smooth this out a little bit more with that node tool. You know, delete sharp corners, and it'll just, like I said, it'll round things out. You want your Automata to have nice, smooth legs and all that good stuff. Okay, now, so now we have our leg. We'll put that up there. We'll put our head back on there. And I noticed that this leg, I probably should trim this up a little bit. So I'll go ahead and let's go ahead and do that. I guess I'll just gonna shrink it down like that. There we go. Now it's not going to interrupt. Now I'm going to go ahead and do our little hole trick here. Unfortunately, it looks like I deleted my hole. That's what it's good to make extra copies, and this is a good lesson for that. Then you don't have to go back and do what I'm going to do now. So let's get this width to be same, 7.5. The height is going to be 7.5. As long as we learn from our mistakes, then it's okay. This is just for fun anyways. So, right mouse click, set fill. Oh, and I see I have a stroke line around that. We got to get rid of that stroke line. So I'm going to right mouse click down here. You might not be able to see it's a little bit off camera here, but it's right below the fill. You right mouse click it. You hit unset stroke. You just can't control plus, which you unionize or find the difference of stuff usually when it has a stroke line. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to learn from my mistake, and I'm going to copy it and paste it. I'm going to make a couple of these. That way I don't do that again. Now, I'm going to go ahead and click, well, let's do that. Now, I think I'm going to use a line tool on this one. Hold down the Shift key, click on this, and let's just see where the line tool takes us. Control-Shift-A will bring the line tool, and I'm going to use that. Okay, it says that's center. Okay, let's do that then. Now, I'm going to go ahead and hold that, Shift-click this, and I'm going to go Control, guess what? Minus, and I punched a hole in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and use that same hole. I'll use the little magnet tool to make it snap right into that hole. Bam. And I'm going to hold down a Shift key, click on the body of my rhino, and I'm going to go ahead and hit Control, you guessed it, minus. And now I have the hole in the leg. So now I'm going to take this, I'm going to check it out and see how that moves. I'm going to move this little crosshair here. And let's look at the leg move. Try it again. All right. Try that again. Let's click on here. Okay, so I saw what the problem was. I had the magnet tool on, and with the magnet tool on, it was not allowing me to move this. So that's interesting. I learned something new. Anyways, so that right there, now I have my leg. And then what would I do? I'd make two of these. Control C, Control V. Now I have one for the back side of my rhino. And I can hit page down. That'll should put it behind it. Shift, let's click this. We'll hit page down. And there it is. Okay, so now I have it behind the leg there. And then I'd put the other one in front like this. And then I'd have two legs. And I'd go ahead and do the same thing with these legs. I would just carve it out with the bezel tool. You can actually trace the entire leg too that you want. Because this one's kind of blended, so you could actually trace this leg, make an outside leg, and then go back and trace this leg and make an inside leg, and yada, yada, yada. But that's basically how you do it. I would, of course, trim this. So I'd probably take the, the square tool here. I would, well, looks like I'm going to do it. Imagine that. I couldn't help myself. All right, let's move that down a little bit, cover that, and hold down the Shift key, click on that, and you guessed it, Control minus. And here, I put this here, and now I have 2 rhino legs up head, and they're all going to move. When I put these on the laser cutters, it'll cut just like this. It'll cut the body out, and it'll cut my rhino head out, and I will have a movable head. The last thing you really need to do is make a washer. I'm going to take one of these. I'm going to go ahead and change this to 6 millimeters by 6 millimeters because that's the size of the dowel we're going to use. And then I'm going to take another one of these. I'm going to make this one 15 millimeters by 15 millimeters. And that'll give me a nice little outside of my ring that I'm going to make. You're going to see what I'm going to do here in a second. I'm going to change the colors, set fill to the red. And then I'm going to just highlight both these. I'm going to use the line tool. Control-Shift-A will bring this up if it's not up. And just click in the center of the X, center of the Y. And now I'm going to hit page down on this. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and control minus it. And now I have my washer. And I'm going to need to print one for here and one for here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the stick through this hole. And then I'm going to put the washer on top of that and glue that to the stick only so that we have a pivot point. Now, the last thing you do, of course, before you laser cut, as many of you guys know, we don't want to print it like this. We want to make it so that they're all stroke lines. So what we're going to do, the printer likes the stroke. It thinks fill means engrave, and it thinks stroke means cut. Well, I just want to cut this stuff. So I'm going to delete this stuff here. My little film thing's getting in the way here. It's glitching a little bit. Delete. Okay, there we go. Delete. So now I take all my parts, and I'm going to right mouse click, set stroke. Get rid of the fill. And look at that. It's ready to go. This one looks a little ridiculous. Let's change that right below here. It's a little bit off screen. You can right mouse click, and then you can hit 0.5, and that's going to change the stroke line. So here I have something ready to print, ready to go, and it looks great. So, anyways, let's go to the printer. Okay, so now that I have it on the Glowforge, I'm going to go ahead and just move this stuff in so I'm not wasting wood. So I'm going to try to get everything in pretty tight. I need 4 washers for what I've designed. So one for the front, one for the back, and I'm just crowding everything into the smallest space possible. This is a 5mm wood that I got at Home Depot. Just an underlayment flooring. It works really great with the laser cutter. So, and it's cheap. Well, wood being cheap. That's kind of laughable. Cheaper. How about that? Okay. Now that I have this all laid out in the Glowforge, I'm going to go ahead and go to Inner Settings. I'm going to go to 5. Well, this is my cutout that I've already preset for this. It says 5mm wood cutout. I'll show you the settings for that real quick. This is what I use to cut that wood from the Home Depot. And so speed 220, and I use full power, and I use 3 passes just to make sure. Unknown material, we're going to click here, and the thickness is 5mm, so I hit submit. Take a look at that. Looks like I might need to move this over just a little bit now that the camera's adjusted a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and hit print. And let's see how that goes.